Okay, today we're going to be looking at the Libration flaring tool. It's eccentric, and I'll show you exactly what that means to us. So we're going to go ahead and start. Okay, today we're going to be looking at the Libration eccentric and flaring tool. All right, and just, if you haven't seen one of these before, hopefully you can see this here. You can see inside, this thing here, as it turns, you can see it turning around. So if it was touching a piece of copper right now, it'd just be rubbing the outside edge of it. Okay, so in other words, it doesn't just go full on and compress the whole thing at once. It does one little edge at a time as you turn the knob. Okay, and so that's what makes it such a great tool. So what you want to do here is take this and put a little bit of nylog on it right at the outset. And nylog, you can use oil that's for your refrigerant, or just nylog. It goes for all refrigerants. And you just want a little tiny bit on it, not much. What you're trying to do is put on a little bit of something for it to coat, because you don't want to mess up this tool at all, nor do you want to mess up what you're trying to do with your flare. Okay, so this right here just helps it rub a little bit, and it has a little bit of less friction. Okay, so use a little Nylog Blue, absolutely wonderful product for doing. It helps to seal as well as lubricate, and it works fantastic. Great for refrigeration, HVAC, stuff like that. Okay. If you get the two-piece kit, it comes with the Libration flaring tool, and it comes with the block, for different sizes. And so what you want to do, if you don't have, you can get the 5-piece kits. It's just a few dollars more, and it comes with a tubing cutter, as well as a couple. I think it has a reamer in it, and a couple other things. So it's nice to have that if you don't have all the other tools. Okay. So what you want to do at this point is, when you go to set your tubing in here to start flaring it, you look at it, and if you can see that it's just way too thick, I mean, that's just thick. It's thicker than the pipe. That means when you used your cutoff tool, when you cut it off to that length that you wanted, as you were pushing on it, so what you're trying to do is you push on it a little bit, you turn it, and you keep doing that. You might have been pushing a little bit too hard, and you're pressing it down, so it actually is compressed now, so it made it way thicker. Okay, you don't want to take that and flare that. That would be a complete wreck. You'd be crushing out all the material. You might do it once or twice just to be able to see what I'm talking about. But at this point, as soon as you saw that and went, oh, I forgot I have to ream this out. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start over at this point and not do that. So we're going to take it back out of there, and say, okay, we got to ream this tool. Now, what I found is a lot of people like these kind of tools for reaming. So it has it comes to a point here, and you push it right in here and turn it a few times. Okay, so we're going to do that right now and see if it produces what we're hoping for. To me, no, it didn't do anything. So I would do it one more time, and I'm going to push really hard. Any better? A hair, just a hair better. Okay, since that reamer didn't work, at least do as good as we would hope for, we want to take this kind of a reamer, okay, and it has a little ball here to keep it from scarring up the inside, okay. So you take it and place it in there and turn it around a few times. Okay, I'm set up again at a quarter. You want to have it just the size of a nickel. Okay, so the size of a nickel sticking out of there, that'll give you the perfect flare. Okay, so again, this thing here, when it comes across here, it not only does this little part right here go into this little groove that makes you line up, but also on the back, on these tools here, they have a little indent, and this thing has a ball bearing on this side here that connects there, so it holds it together in both spots. Okay, so both things. So you bring it over, and as you go like this, your ball bearing is hooked up, as well as your cone right here, okay, that you're going in. So we got it all set up. We can go down. This is what actually locks the block in. Okay, this is the vise that does that. All right, so now we're all set up. You got to make sure it's tight. If not, when you go to push this on, it'll push the pipe right on out. Okay, so you put it on there and you put it on real tight. All right, now I'm going to try to show you that again, the flaring. You've already seen how the eccentric works, but if you can see that in there, as I start going in, starting to see, you can see right there connecting. Okay, and then you'll also notice as I'm doing this, this little part right here will open up more. It'll become like almost an 1/8 inch as it goes in more. See how the gap's getting bigger? So as I make this flare, this thing's pushing away, and as soon as I get to the proper amount of flare, it's going to stop and not let me go anymore. Okay, that's what you see the opening here. So that's it. It won't let me go anymore. It's telling me the flare is done. Okay, so it's just all automatic. Again, you won't have to be doing this for a camera, so it'll be much easier for you just to attack this thing. I'm trying to do it and keep my fingers out of the way and keep everything out of the way, so it's kind of a pain, but you shouldn't have any problem with this at all. This tool works fantastic. So as soon as you got it done, you back it back out and you go all the way. Okay, and then you're ready to rock and roll. So right, as you can see, it's lined up by having it sticking out the size of a nickel. Okay, now we see it right here. We can see it's perfectly flat with that. Okay, and that way you know it's perfect. Okay, but we're going to go and double check it anyway. But so we open her up, pull her out of there, and look at our flare. Looks absolutely perfect. Not a mar on it. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Now, is it too big? Look at that. It worked absolutely perfect. Okay, it actually slipped right down there. I mean, that is just like right at the edge. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but it's right there. I mean, it's literally just perfect. Okay, that way you know it's taking up the whole bottom there. Okay, so when it goes against, I don't have the actual face here with me, but when it goes against the piece, it'll look like that, completely solid. Okay, being perfect. Imagine this isn't the kind. This isn't the kind, but it's perfectly set up like that. And then this one here will just come over as soon as you're ready to get it. Make the connection. Of course, when you go to make the connection, you put a little bit of nylog right on here like this. You'll just put it on the face. So that's what it all just takes, it right on the face like that. Okay, so just a little tiny bit. Don't take much. And then you connect it. You put it like that. Put it together. Then you slide your nut over it. Okay, so you hold it in place, and then you slide your nut over it, and then that's what makes the connection. So your pipe, you already knew where the pipe was perfectly. Okay, so then I'm going to take it back off again and show you. If when you did it, you didn't do this, and you just kind of winged it, you had it up there like that, you stick it in there, and you hope for the best, it could be sideways, it could be off a little bit. So your best bet is always to just put a little nylog on it. It could be on both sides or just one side, doesn't matter which side. And it's smooth now, it's running smoothly on the nylog. I mean, I can feel it, you can't see it, but I can feel it. Then you just take it, hold it in place, and then bring your nut into it and start tightening the nut, okay? And tighten it all the way till it gets all the way down to where it's snug, and that way your pipe's not moving. Okay, now we know that the pipe's on and not moving. And then from here, you'll torque it. Okay, you get your torque wrench and torque it on. So that is your Libration flaring tool all set up and how to use it. I'm going to do one more real quick one for a bigger tube because I made it the hardest one on purpose. 1/4 inch one is just a pain in the rump. It's so small there's no way to test it. So I'm going to do in the next one the 3/8 size, and we'll be able to test it better and see it better. Okay. Okay, I have the Navac close quarters pipe cutter, and I'm going to show you again. It's a pain with. It is a really easy tool to use if you're not trying to put it on camera. Okay, so by putting it on camera, it makes it a little more difficult, but for you, just so you know when you go to use it, it won't be as hard as I'm making it look. Anyway, put your cutter on there, get it set up. You're going to have, what's nice about the Navac close quarter is not only is it a good tool, it does come with an extra cutter also. But not only is it a good tool, but it's close quarter, and it goes all the way up to 3/4 inch. So from 1/4 inch to 3/4, actually so from 1/8 inch to 3/4 inch. So it'll do all the sizes really for a mini split. 99.9% of them. None of them, most of them don't have anything bigger than 3/4 inch. Okay, so it has it all. And what you want to do is on these here, especially on mini splits, if you get to a situation where you can see where it's bent, you can see this right here bent. Don't try cutting that, because it'll just be it'll mess up your whole thing. Find a nice straight spot. So if when you took your, I want to show you that, because our mini splits, they come rolled up, and so when you unroll it and you got it set up, when you're going to be doing it, you're going to be doing it right next to your mini split, again on your knees, bent over, and all this other stuff. So it's kind of a pain. But if it was the bent part of it, you couldn't straighten out any more than that, don't start there. Come back a ways a little bit. Okay, or you won't get a nice straight cut. All right, so I'm back a ways, a little ways away from the bend, and now I'm going to go ahead and do it. So you put a little bit of pressure on it. Okay, don't put a lot, because you just crush the pipe, and then start turning. Okay, so then when you go to a couple turns, you put a little bit more pressure on it. Turn it again, and another little more pressure. Just keep doing that until we're at the end. So it don't take much. You don't want to go fast, because it'll be fast. You can cut right through this thing, but then you got to spend the time deburring it. Okay, so your better bet is take it slowly and let the wheel do all the work without you crushing the thing and creating more problems for yourself to do the job properly. Okay, now you can see here, I wish I would have done it with the 1/4 inch one now, because you could have seen the difference, but there's a lot less of smashing it down. This tool was a lot cleaner than our last tool we were using. Okay, it took a little more oomph to get it going, so it actually messed it up a little bit more, but that's pretty clean. So now we're going to try this kind again and see if we can deburr it that way. Okay. This will be if this could do it, this is the best way to do it. That way you're not marring the inside finish at all. Because what you know, the inside finish is your flare. Anything from this point forward is your flare. So however you leave that, that's what's going to be on the face of your flare. You want it as smooth as glass. You want it to be really nice. So that's why you're trying not to put anything in there that can cause a problem. So I'm looking at that right now, and let me get my glasses on because I'm old and I can't see anything. But it looks pretty darn good. It looks pretty darn good. It looks like it could go a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and take the deburr tool and put it in there and just run it across a little bit on there. And again, whenever you do this, you want to maybe point it down so if there's anything in there, it'll come out and not go into your pipe. Okay? So right now I'm running it across there. And it looks pretty nice. Oh, look at that. All that stuff right there. So the point is you want to make sure all of it can come out, okay? All right, that looks pretty darn clean right there, okay? So then on our outside, do that a few times, and it feels okay. Again, I always just go ahead and spend the extra second just running some sandpaper across there and just make it nice and smooth. Everything as smooth as I can get it now. Okay, that's the inside and that's the outside. So it looks pretty darn smooth. It feels smooth. Can't really feel inside there, it's too small, but you can see it and it looks pretty darn smooth in there. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get set up for our thing. So this one here is being 3/8. So we look for our 3/8 block there and we bring it over to us. So we're going to have this thing set up at a nickel. So you want about the size of a nickel sticking out of there. Okay, so the same thickness as a nickel. If I can show you that. That's how you set up here. Again, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do it for a camera, so it's easier for you. Anyway, bring this thing across, And so you bring it across. So first off, you're going to push it in and get it as close as you can. So it looks like that. So let me show you. Looks like that. Okay. And then bring your tool across there. And again, it's going to get caught on the ball bearing on this side. And then your thing, I went too far on the last one. And this side here is going to line up to these cones here. It's going to be right here. Okay. So there's really no way to, this thing's almost foolproof is what the point I'm making. By having a ball bearing on each one, and then on this side, so it's a double connection. Okay. And we already had our all set up there. See how that looks? Okay, smooth as glass.